Right now somewhere in the world a person is sleeping in a tent. No walls. No locks. No security system. Just a thin piece of fabric between them and the dark. And somewhere nearby in that same darkness a wolf is awake. A bear is moving. A mountain lion is watching. They know exactly where that person is. They smelled them hours ago. They can hear their breathing. They could reach that tent in seconds. And they will not touch them. Not because they cannot. Not because they are full. Not because they did not notice. Because something deep inside every large predator still alive on this planet is telling them the same thing. Do not go near that. The question is why. Let us start with what you actually are when you are sleeping in the wild. You are roughly 180 pounds of meat. You are completely unconscious. You are lying flat on the ground. You are making noise. You cannot run. You cannot fight. You have no claws. No fangs. No speed. By every single biological definition you are the perfect prey animal. A grizzly bear weighing 600 pounds could end you in under 3 seconds. A wolf pack could take you before you opened your eyes. A mountain lion could drop from a tree above your tent and you would never know it was there. And none of them do it. Millions of people sleep in the wilderness every single year. In grizzly territory. In wolf country. In mountain lion range. And the number of fatal predator attacks on sleeping campers across all recorded national park history in the United States is effectively zero. Zero. Not rare. Not unusual. Zero. You are statistically more likely to be struck by lightning inside the park than to be eaten while you sleep in it. So what is actually happening? Let us start with what predators are doing at night. Most large predators are most active between dusk and dawn. That is when they hunt. That is when they move. That is when they are hungry. A grizzly bear can smell you from 20 miles away. A wolf can hear your heartbeat from over a mile away in the right conditions. A mountain lion could be sitting 30 feet from your tent right now and you would have absolutely no idea. They are not missing you. They are choosing not to touch you. And the reason why is one of the most fascinating things in all of animal behavior. Predators are not built to be brave. They are built to survive. And in the wild those are two completely different things. A wolf that takes unnecessary risks does not live long enough to pass on its genes. A lion that charges into something it does not understand does not eat tomorrow. Every large predator alive today is the descendant of animals that were cautious. Deeply cautious. The ones that were not cautious got killed. And here is the thing about sleeping humans that every predator instinctively understands. You do not move like prey. You do not smell like prey. You do not sound like prey. A deer freezes when it senses danger. A rabbit bolts. Every prey animal on Earth has a predictable response to a threat. And predators have learned to read those responses over millions of years of evolution. You have none of those responses. You sleep completely still for hours at a time. You breathe at a slow, steady rhythm. You make no attempt to flee. You radiate heat. You carry strange smells. Synthetic fabrics. Chemicals. Metal. Fire. To a predator encountering a human for the first time, nothing about you computes. And animals are deeply instinctively terrified of things that do not compute. There is a concept in animal behavior called neophobia. Fear of the unfamiliar. Most large predators have it. And they have it for a very good reason. In the wild the things you do not recognize are the things most likely to kill you. A new smell. A new sound. A new shape in the darkness that does not match anything stored in your memory. The smart move is to avoid it. Humans trigger neophobia extremely hard. We carry fire. We carry metal. We carry synthetic materials that have never existed in nature. Even our sweat is chemically unusual compared to every other mammal on the planet. To a wolf or a bear, a sleeping human in a tent does not register as food. It registers as a threat they have not figured out yet. And the ones that tried to figure it out by getting closer did not survive long enough to pass that lesson on. But here is the deepest reason of all. Humans have been killing large predators for a very long time. Hundreds of thousands of years. We hunted wolves. We hunted lions. We hunted bears. We hunted big cats. Since before we had written language. We drove multiple apex predators completely to extinction. The dire wolf. The cave lion. The American cheetah. Gone. Largely because of us. The predators that are still here are the ones whose ancestors learned something critical. Humans are dangerous. Not just physically dangerous. Unpredictably dangerous. A sleeping deer is still a deer. A sleeping human could have a spear in its hand. In areas where large predators have had consistent contact with humans for generations, they give humans a very wide distance. In areas where animals have had no human contact at all, they are actually more curious and less afraid. The fear has to be learned. And most populations of large predators have had hundreds of thousands of years to learn it. So what about the attacks that do happen? Because they do happen. People get attacked by mountain lions on trails. Campers get mauled by bears. Tourists get too close and pay for it. Almost none of those attacks happen while the person is sleeping. When they do, it almost always comes down to one of three things. Food. A bear that has learned to associate campsites with food stops seeing humans as a threat and starts seeing them as a source. That is when things go wrong. Desperation. A starving predator injured and unable to hunt normally may override its instincts out of pure necessity. The famous man-eating lions of Tsavo in Kenya in 1898 both had severe dental damage that made hunting their normal prey nearly impossible. Surprise! A human who accidentally corners an animal or stumbles across a mother with cubs gets attacked not as prey but as a threat the animal is defending itself from. Notice what is not on that list. A predator that calmly chose to attack a sleeping non-threatening human for food. That almost never happens. There is one more piece to this that almost nobody knows. Wolves and other large social predators are constantly reading the social structure of whatever they encounter. When they observe a group of animals, they are calculating hierarchy. Who is dominant? Who is vulnerable? Researchers who study wolf behavior have noted something deeply strange. When wolves encounter sleeping humans in the wild, they frequently circle without approaching. They observe from a distance for long periods of time. They seem to be trying to figure out what the social structure is. And a sleeping human sends deeply confusing signals. No submission. No dominance display. No body language at all. Just a calm, completely unresponsive creature that does not seem to register the wolf's presence. That confusion is protection. Here is the deepest truth underneath all of this. We have spent most of human history being afraid of the dark. Building fires. Building walls. Sleeping in groups. For most of our history that fear made complete sense. Early humans were genuinely vulnerable. But somewhere along the way the balance shifted. We became so widespread. So consistently dangerous. So deeply embedded in the landscape of every continent. That large predators adapted around us. The populations that did not learn to avoid humans got hunted out. The ones that did survive passed that lesson down through thousands of generations. The wilderness that feels so threatening when you are lying in a tent in the dark is not looking at you the way you are looking at it. The wolf circling your campfire is not deciding whether to attack. It is deciding whether you are something it wants to risk getting anywhere near. And almost every time it decides you are not worth it. So the next time you are lying awake in a tent, listening to something move through the trees outside, trying to decide if you should be afraid, here is what is actually happening. Whatever is out there knows you are there. It smelled you hours ago. It heard you settle in. It has been aware of your breathing the entire time. And it is keeping its distance. Not because it cannot reach you, but because somewhere in the deep ancient wiring of every large predator still alive on this planet there is a lesson. Passed down through thousands of generations. Earned through hundreds of thousands of years of painful experience. Humans are not prey. Humans are something else entirely. Sleep well.